So, episode 4 of the road to 100k a month, and it was quite a week, third week on the charts, and genuinely, again, more lessons, more wisdoms, shit that I went through, positives, negatives. I'll be uncovering everything on this episode. For context, all of these episodes are always uploaded on Sunday afternoon. Figure out what time zone, wherever you are, you'll find and get used to it eventually. But starting off as tradition, I will go over the P&L. So on the screen right now, I'll put up the P&L, and I'll also put up back-to-back Friday L's, bro. Genuinely, I don't know if it's because I have a fucking curse on Friday. In fact, let me completely remove that belief. That's cope. No, I failed again. Well, I didn't fail. I made mistakes once again, which I'll be uncovering in today's video. But generally, as a whole, once again in the red. That's 2 back-to-back weeks in the red on the P&L. But the lessons I'm getting out of it, like, that's the type of person I am in general as well. I will put me into any circumstance, into any situation. I will always take the gold out of any situation I'm in. I'll find something to be grateful for, and I'll find something to take out of it. And that's what I'm currently trying to do mentally in my mind. It feels bad. It doesn't feel the best being in the red 2 weeks in a row. But I'm taking the lessons out of it, and I'll be sharing them all in this video. But that's the P&L. From an accounts point of view, we have, as a reminder, 550k lucid accounts. All of the drawdowns on all of those accounts is 10k. We are down 3.3. So our remaining balance is 6.7. So still not the end of the world, but yeah, bro. We still got a lot of things that we need to work on and continue pushing on. So starting off with Monday, one piece of value that I took out of that day was I was reading and listening to the book Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, as many of you know. Chapter 7, and it was about probabilities. That's what it was called. And the analogy he used on that chapter is to think like a professional gambler. And it might sound crazy at first, but when you think of a professional gambler, they're very logical, they're very unemotional, very logical people, in the sense that in this context of probabilities, they're not fazed by losses. If a professional gambler goes into a casino and he has a losing hand, he's not going to break a sweat, bro. He knows that he has an edge. He's going into the casino knowing, I'm going to take your fucking money. I know exactly what I'm doing. Let me fucking run it. And that's because they think in probabilities. They know mathematically it will work out. So as a trader, it's no different. As traders, we have to adopt that mindset of probabilities, of knowing wins and losses are due. And the reason I mention that, and the reason I think that's valuable, is because it translates into not feeling an emotional attachment when you're making trades. And I found that when I was doing that on Monday, and I fully comprehended that, and I sat there and I sat with that thought, made perfect sense. Is that when you think about improbabilities, you're not phased no longer if it's a win or if it's a loss. You know that over time, you're going to win. So hopefully that can help a lot of people, and it helped me as far as emotionally feeling something when you're in a trade, whether it hits TP or it hits stop loss or it's trailing down or upwards, whatever. Going into Tuesday, we adopted kind of a new strat as far as like setting our break even when we do, just above the entry point. So if it does get to that point, at least that trade ends up being in the green. I think that's what happened on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. And that's what happened there. Going into Wednesday, I'm going to address this comment. So on Wednesday, I read a comment of somebody who commented on, I think it was the last episode. And I'll put the comment right here. Sorry if you're watching this, bro, but you're a fucking retard, bro. And I don't want to get into the habit of replying to fucking comments, bro. But I thought it would be valuable. So the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because there's lessons in this, and I'll explain. To give you context, I think he said, do you really believe TGR made 300k in a month? Whatever it was at that point, which is what I said on that episode. And I'll give you some context. Hate him or love him, for those who know TGR or not, like hate him or love him, I will never have a belief that does not serve me. And the belief that this guy had was, you really believe TGR made 300k in 1 month? Number one, it's cope. Part of him subconsciously doesn't believe that shit's even possible. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said that comment. And number two, it doesn't serve him in any way. Like, let's say worst case scenario, or fucking whatever case scenario, it doesn't fucking matter. Let's say it's a paper account, or I don't know what the fuck is. Hey, I don't even pay attention to that shit. It's well, I imagine they would say it's a demo account, paper trading, whatever. As far as I know, he streams every fucking video, every trade. So try and be that, whatever, bro. But it does not serve you to not believe that success is possible for other people, and to then make fun of others for like me, like saying like, yo, bro, I want to like, I take that as inspiration. I think that's retarded, bro. Like, I'll give you an analogy as well. Being in Dubai, a lot of people know Dubai is a place that has a lot of supercars, which it does. And you obviously have the good side of it, where you have a lot of people who have fucking crazy parking lots, crazy money, they can afford it. But you also have the side of the people who rent the cars, one-day leases, etc., etc. What serves you better, to think that every supercar is leased or faked? They just lease their cars, or they're not his? Or does it serve you better to just admire it and be like, fuck, well done, bro. You got to drive a Lambo. I don't know if I don't know if it's leased, I don't know if you bought it paid in cash, I don't know if it's financed, but good for you. What serves you better long term? To believe that abundance and money is affluent, or to think, oh no, that's fake, oh no, that's not possible? So to tie back to the TJR comment that this fucking idiot was talking about, and this is why you shouldn't listen to every random fucking person, is a belief of, I don't think it's possible, I don't think it's true, and it won't serve him. If you're watching this, my friend, remove that belief, because it's not going to serve you. And that was a long rant, but it's a very powerful lesson that I learned, and a reminder. Beliefs shape everything. Do not believe something that does not serve you. Me believing the sky is blue or green does not make a fucking difference. It doesn't change my life in any shape or form. So why would I care? And for anything else that beliefs come from, genuinely reflect on it. Think of what beliefs you have. If you just disagree with what I just said, maybe reflect on it. Sit with yourself. But I thought that was a really good lesson. And I took out of it. I thought I'd mention it. Going into Thursday, another thing I'll say. One thing I learned from school was science lab reports. That's one thing I will take away. I didn't learn jack shit in school. All the things I'm doing now, all the things I've ever done, I think I'll continue to do so in my future. We're not learned in fucking school. You don't learn, again, I didn't take that much out of it. But I did take science lab reports. And I remember when I used to do lab reports, like you would set a hypothesis, you would set up a trade, you would have variables, you have independent variables, dependent variables, control variables, and then you would have to come up with a solution. You go for it and you can conclude if your hypothesis was correct or not. And I apply this to life. Ever since I wanted to get into like improving my life, into making money online, all these different things, I applied the system to life. And I've now applied the system to sleep. So I'm now tracking my sleep, everything from bedtime to wake up time, everything from my deep sleep, my REM sleep, all of it, how I'm feeling in the morning. And I purchased a subscription to track how I'm doing. But the value I want to give you in there is to fucking life max. Is to fucking run lab tests on all of your life. I've done this literally for years at this point now, 2 or 3 years at this point, where I would have a data sheet, I would have variables that I want to track for that given month, and literally every week, every month, sit back, reflect over your numbers. Like if you want to know any data metric of my life, I will be able to tell you. And I track everything on my Google Calendar, I'll be able to tell you. And I think a good quote that can summarize that is, how can you win the game if you don't know the score? And if you don't know the metrics that need to get you there to win? So I thought that was a good thing. And one thing I've started to implement. And then going into Friday. So Friday, yeah, I mean Friday was one of those, on the trading aspect is, how do I put this, man? It was literally a repetition of our previous Friday and our psychology getting the best out of us. And the main point I took out of it, or at least one point I put here on my notes, was failing fast. And I think it's good that I'm going through all these lessons extremely quick and I'm just getting them out of the way. And I think now I've come up with a specific rule set, one of them being specifically 2 trades per day max. For my psychology, for the way I trade, I feel like that's going to be benefiting me long term. It's just doing 2 trades per day max. Win, loss, break even, whatever. Because I think on Friday, the 3 trades, bro. I just lost my fucking head. I'm not even gonna kid you, bro. On the third, after the third trade, on the fourth, I was debating literally full porting the full account. I was literally calculating how many contracts would I need to put if my remaining balance, which is 6.3k, no 6.7k, if I was to put all of it in. Like that's the shit I was thinking. Like that's the shit old Jake would be doing back in his gambling days. Like literally, bro. Like I need to fucking snap out of that shit, and that's what I was. And thank fuck I did, because that hit would have either doubled my account, which means we would probably be fucking getting a payout right now, or it would have meant we would have blown the fucking account. And I don't want to be like most of these people. I think I mentioned on episode 2 that I don't compare myself to industry standards or to averages. I don't want to be your normal trader who fucking blows their accounts and makes a joke out of it. Like I think I don't want to do that shit, and I thank fuck I snapped out of it. And that's why I'm imposing the rule onto myself now. 2 trades per day, max. So we'll see how that turns out. And then as far as more wisdom, I also watched Tate versus the AB Talks, not versus, Tate X AB Talks podcast. For those that, I think it's a really good podcast. There was a lot of wisdom in that. And I think one way I can even summarize this week, and one of the takeaways I took out of that video alone, that podcast alone, was Tate was answered and described and answered a question asked the question, where it was Andrew in one word. And the word he used was indefatigable. And for those that know, that's one of his quotes, and I'll never forget it. I think it was a quote that his father bestowed upon him. But it was that my unmatched perspicacity, coupled with sheer indefatigability, makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. And I can't believe I can still remember that word for word. But it's a very good quote to live by, where if you break it down, my unmatched perspicacity, my openness to see everything, coupled with sheer indefatigability, my inability to feel fatigued, my inability to lose energy, to be tired, makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. Makes me, as explained. And I think that's a really good way to go about everything. I think one thing I also took out of that podcast was a lot of did I put in my notes? I think I did. Yeah, negativity. Negativity is also needed in your life, in your come up, so that when the good times actually start hitting, bro, and you start getting the success, and for example, in the trading context, you start getting the momentum, you start getting the payouts, you start scaling your accounts, things start working out for you, it feels that one step better. Like, I look at this in the context of even let's say you're a rich kid, bro, like you grew up extremely rich, wealthy parents, never had really any struggle. When you make money, bro, it's not gonna hit as hard. And I think I'm going through that phase right now where it's like things aren't ideal, bro. I'm not in the position I want to be in. I don't like everything per se. And I think the way I'm reframing that mindset, and even just using that quote, my unmatched perspicacity coupled with sheer indefatigability makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor, is a good way to keep pushing, bro. It's a good way to know that the negative times are good. And that going through this shit, one way or another, keep hammering it every single day, it's gonna work out for me. Or it's gonna work out for you watching this. So I think that's another valuable thing I took out of that podcast, which I think, again, a lot of you probably should watch. And to wrap up Friday as a whole. And aside from that, I also won't forget my brother who sent that comment on episode 2. I never replied, but I will now. And he asked for my strategy. As far as my strategy currently, I pretty much trade basically off number one. If I was to rank it, number one, liquidity sweeps. So obviously after every session open, I mark out session highs, session lows from previous sessions. And then I would use different confluences. Again, as it stands, it's fair value gaps mainly and inverse fair value gaps. And I usually look at for in terms of a confirmation for a change of trend and a follow through. So follow through of that happening. And then obviously I would use contexts like high time frame context, like high time frame charts and uptrends or downtrends, and that's how I'm going about that so far as well. But again, still so much to learn, so much to go through. And I think we'll wrap up episode 3 there. In terms of how I'm also positioning this, I also want you guys to tell me what you find the most value in. If it's more so, if you want me to go more in depth, I know in this episode I didn't that much in terms of the trades, how I executed, what made me execute those trades, or if you want me to continue going more so on the psychology, the emotions, the wisdom aspect of it. Because right now, I think that's what's going to be my biggest needle mover. I think so many people, it's like, I think every strategy works in one shape or form. Everybody's doing, like, all the people you see doing different strategies, they're successful themselves. So clearly it works. It isn't just like a one strategy needs to be that or the other. I think they all work. And I think it really just comes down to the person who's behind, who's clicking the buttons. I think it comes down to psychology, greed, fear. And I think that's what I need to master. And I think coming from a sales background, I've been at this road, bro. I know what I need to do. I know how I need to show up on the charts. I know how I need to show up outside of the charts. It's a repetition, and that's why I feel like I do have an edge. And I will become a very successful trader quicker and more successful than a lot of people in a shorter time frame, because I know how this shit works. Like I all I need to mark down now is the strategy aspect, but the psychology, the emotion, that's something that I have an edge in, but I still fall victim to, as shown this week, as shown on Friday where I overtraded. I felt like I needed to end the week off in the green, and that's where it still gets me. And again, that's why I'm failing quick, failing fast. We're keeping that in. And that's why we need to keep on fucking going, because of that shit. And that's the result of keeping fucking going. So we'll wrap up the series. I'm hot as fuck. And yeah, a bit of a rough week, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm taking the positives, and going into next week, we will keep fucking crushing. But keep fucking crushing yourself.